Hey there, welcome into Energy Upgrade Feng Shui Tips 2021. We're already midway through November. It is November 14th. I'm Lisa Albin. I am your Feng Shui Master and Quantum Energy Alignment Practitioner. And I'm about to share with you today a little bit of my process I call Energy Upgrade. And it's also a Feng Shui alignment because I'm going to give you not only a frequency calibration today, but I'm also going to give you some Feng Shui insight to help bring awareness to your space, how it's connected and relating to you and your own personal energy. And also with that Feng Shui application, you'll be able to maintain your newly calibrated energy coming out of today's call. If you are new here, I invite you to please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way you can be updated each and every time I send a new session out there to this virtual realm. I don't have a consistent schedule right now, and I don't want you to miss anything that I upload. So if you want to stay in tune and aware with what's going on with your own personal energy, the energy that surrounds you, and also your space, your environment energy, it's really important to get all of these working in harmony so you can move forward towards your goals with clarity and ease and confidence, and allowing yourself to receive that abundance that is already all around you right now. So let's get started. We're going to jump in with today's I Ching reading. This I Ching reading is applicable whenever you tune in and receive this session. So if you were watching within this week, perfect. If you've caught this at a later time, and maybe it's because you needed to receive this message, maybe you needed to receive this calibration at this exact moment. I invite you, no matter where you are, what day it is, what time of day it is, in wherever you live and in your space, I invite you to make sure that you're able to tune in, stay engaged with me through this process. Make sure you are fully hydrated. Water is a conductor of energy, so make sure that you're well hydrated. And also our bodies are made up of water, and that will help us to share energy here on this call. I've already lit my candle with intention to connect with you and with your highest self, and so that we are doing this work for the greatest and highest good. Thank you again for being here. Let's get started. So this I Ching reading is really quite perfect. It's a perfect meld of everything that's been coming together in the past couple days, the last week. We're coming out of 11/11. Got a lot of letters, emails, phone calls, texts from everyone who is sincerely very sensitive to 11/11. I'm not really one of those people, but it seems to be a favorite number, a symbol of synchronicity for many people all around the world. So if it is for you, this might have been a really special week that we're coming out of. Now that we're into November 14th, I asked the ancient I Ching, what is the current energy surrounding those wishing to receive an energy upgrade right now? And it resulted in number 15, hexagram number 15, if you're following along at home with your own I Ching books. Hexagram number 15, today we're going to be talking about humility. So the energy of humility and what that means, okay? So let's really think about that. Also, guys, I want to make sure that you have a piece of paper and a pen that works really well, nothing that's going to frustrate you, because I'm going to ask you to do some writing exercises potentially as well. Okay, so humility, think about someone you know that has a great humility. Think about someone you know who is very humble and secure in themselves. They're so humble and secure in themselves that they can really just, oftentimes people who are humble and really secure themselves are very quiet and they're watchers, and they're getting a sense of the reading of the energy in a room, particularly in conversations. So people who have a great humility, they're able to assess the energy of situations, of people, of conversations, and they have a keen sense and a way about them that are able to bring down the energy if it's too inflated, if it's too manic. They're able to bring it down a notch. If the energy is that where someone is being overshadowed, or the energy is too quiet or not being heard, they have an ability to draw out. So to draw out energy. And right now, if you're one of these people, you're going to be rewarded. in this current energy. So for each of us in this current energy, it's really important to hone in on your ability to be humble, to have that humility about you. And that requires a lot of emotional intelligence, right? So we can get so caught up in wanting to, maybe perhaps you're in the workplace and you really want to be heard. So maybe, you have a tendency to start talking before you listen to someone else. Let me know if this resonates with you, or if you're recognizing this trait in yourself. Perhaps it's even at the dinner table. But in being humble, it's really coming back to that place of self-awareness and collecting our own energy and really coming across as level as we can. Not any better than anyone else, at the same level, and in fact working in a way to bring in harmony in any conversation in any room. This is something that we do as Feng Shui practitioners. So I started to share a little bit in our last session about yin energy. So we know the Tai Chi symbol, the really beautiful black and white symbol that we see as it relates to seasonality of life, cosmic energy, Qi. So this Tai Chi symbol is really important to us as Feng Shui practitioners. What we are doing is looking to assess the yin and the yang of our environments, of our own energy, and of those around us. Looking to find a way to keep these energies in sync so that they're not competing in a bad way. So really restoring that harmony. And so, for example, if you are a very humble person with a great humility, you might be in a room or a crowd of people, and you'll notice that some people overpower others, and perhaps you sense an inflated energy that is really overpowering. And what you may do in this instance is to reach out and to draw out the strengths of those who you see are being overshadowed. So that's one little tip that you can do. And in addition to just really being a good listener, just in any conversation that you're having in this current energy, it'll be really important. Business conversations, relationship conversations. Again, keeping at a really great, thorough, and moderate pace, a steady pace. And through these actions and through your sincerity, you're going to bring great fortune. You'll be able to receive the great fortune that's all around you. While we're talking, I feel like this is a great time to bring in an emotional aura assessment around all of us. So again, make sure that you are fully hydrated. I am going to bring up the tool in which I can assess our collective emotional aura. And some of this may resonate with you, and some of it may remind you of a friend, a colleague, a family member, may remind you of a movie in some cases. So with my intention, I'm going to assess our current emotional aura field. And the issue at hand is the need to access practice of loving kindness to others. Now, just because there's a long list of things here, this doesn't mean that there's a ton of issues that need to be worked through within our collective aura field. These are just things to note, to bring into harmony, and perhaps even just take a little consideration. These are things that could be affecting any one of our levels of consciousness and our awareness. So again, we're looking to access practice of loving kindness to others. And this is perfect as we're talking about the energy of humility. I don't know why my cat gets crazy when I do this. I know cats are really sensitive to energy. If I'm moving crystals, the cats feel it. So if you see a cat fly around in the background, that's why. Okay. So we're going to be letting loose of things that you have no control over. So that's pretty significant there. A negative self-trait of being suspicious, worrying about what others think about your choices. If any of this is resonating with you, drop me a note in the comments so I can help and be aware and know what's resonating with you. So also a negative self-trait of passing the buck. Is there something that you're not taking accountability for in your own life as it relates to you as it relates to those around you on a large or small scale. Needing to access playfulness. I think this is really important right now. Everybody's starting to get caught up already in the hustle and bustle of things. It feels like a really intense, high yang atmosphere. Even more so than a couple years ago. Right now, it feels like everyone's really taking it to heart that let's live life to the fullest, but to the extreme. So let's dial it back a notch and inject in some playfulness. It's so important. Also, there's a negative frequency within our emotional aura field that talks about autocrat supervisory style. So this may be something within your own style of supervision or something that you've retained from your previous work experience, something that you may have witnessed. So also for the self, needing to be pampered, that self-care component. Don't forget to take care of yourself during this time. Let's not burn our candles at both ends. And accessing a sense of deserving success. Really powerful there. I'm hearing this from a lot of you. Sometimes it's just a simple energetic shift that we need to make to allow ourselves to receive the success. It's not something that we need to necessarily go out and get or to force. And a negative trait for self, it's time, become a dragon lady, and balance the karmic record. So this negative trait, I don't think here it's talking about you really activating any dragon energy or anything, but it's saying the opposite. So it's perhaps that need that some of us feel we have to set the karmic record. That's not our job. So you just be your humble, strength-driven, caring as much as you can of others, and let karma settle the records, okay? So I'm going to let this work in the background while I'm doing the rest of this assessment. Okay. So coming back to the ancient I Ching, and again, this is the ancient book of changes for those of you who are new, those of you who have been working with me for a long time, friends, colleagues, clients, and my YouTube family that's growing. Thank you so much. And I remind you to please make sure you're liking these videos as you're watching. It helps to boost my rating. It helps to bring visibility to this process, which I feel is very important. If it's helping you, help others. Share it with others, share it with a friend, share it with your entrepreneurial friends, certainly. If you are a high vibe female entrepreneur, look for me in my Facebook group. You can find information about that in the link contained in the bio description. And if you are someone who needs some assessment of your place, of your workspace or your home or your office or your place of business, you can contact me through my consultation company, Cloud9 Feng Shui. If you're looking for someone to help you build your dream home, if you need someone as a part of your team with your architect and your designer, if you already have one, I'd be honored to be your designer if you don't. So all of those resources are provided in the link and description. Okay, thanks for listening. So it's really, really key that we remain highly, and again, what was the word that I used before? Emotionally intelligent and sensitive, and have that great awareness and scan the spaces in which we are in and assess them. And have that sense, is there too much overpowering energy? Can it be brought down a bit? Can we draw out someone with their strengths to add value to the experience or to the room? And remaining in that place of being sensitive yet determined will help you to align with your desires. So take a minute, if you haven't already, with your piece of paper, and I want you to just take a minute, write down your goals, your ultimate goal, and your intention in this current week as you move towards your goal. Keep in mind that inner enthusiasm is necessary. We're just talking about joy and playfulness. Sometimes our determination can flip the switch to not being so fun, and so we're trying to avoid that. Inject humor, perhaps crack some jokes about yourself. Really let your inner self, your authenticity, your open heart be felt by those around you. Remain humble in doing so, in order to be able to grow and advance towards that goal, okay, that you just wrote down on your paper. Maybe it's the same goal from last week. Maybe you have a journal. How many of you have a journal as you're following along? It's such a great idea to be able to track your progress towards your goals, see how many you were actualizing, each intent that you have. It's important that we inject intent. Putting that framework of intent, that inspired action, is really going to empower each action, every step that you take on your journey towards your goal. It's a big component of Feng Shui too. So not only are we very intuitive and we have the knowledge, right, but being able to work within that framework of intention is what really is powerful. Okay. So that is the current energy surrounding you right now. Now I'm going to supercharge you as we're calibrating in the background. Okay. So in supercharging, I can charge a person, an object, a room, a space. I can clear energy as well using this. In addition to any of the modalities I use in Feng Shui, dowsing, sage, essential oils. But this time I'm going to work with energetic imprints sent to you in these virtual means. I'm going to send you a few that I think you will enjoy. Abundance, absolutely. Let's also be receiving. Open-hearted. Humble. Now some of you may be feeling a little bit different as I'm using these virtual tools. Oh. Okay. So, late breaking news. Also beneath your goal, make sure you write down in cursive, ensure that your life has been worth it. You are the only one who can. Ensure that your life has been worth it. You are the only one who can. So write this down. Let me know what this means to you. It's helpful if you can write it into cursive because it will integrate with all of the levels of your consciousness and awareness. I'll do it in that. Ensure that your life has been worth it. If this means something to you, if this resonates, drop me a note in the comments or you can send me an email. Are the one who can. We are the only ones that can make sure our lives are worth it in the end. So no one's going to come in and make things happen for you, and if they did, it probably wouldn't mean the same. So yeah, again, empowerment, self-love, take control in a humble way in directing your life story. You're the only one who can. I think that's really appropriate for what we've been talking about. And I don't pre-program these, they just come up. I've had people say, like, how did you know that? Did you script this? Yes, I did type out the I Ching reading as I divined it. But all of these things come together harmoniously for a reason. And so I feel like tonight's message might be reaching many of you who needed to hear this right now. As we're talking about the energy and needing to be humble. But what's also really cool about this current energy too is that you are on a very lucky, auspicious path, because what the I Ching shows is also a pushing upward. So it is a growth and advancement. Pushing upward, I always think about that that tiny piece of grass or that dandelion that finds a way to grow up through concrete somehow, or like through a boulder. And you're like, how did that plant survive and make it through? But it's that strength and determination and natural humble beauty that allows it to do that. It's just finding its way in its path in a very natural, harmonious way, just like you. And so that pushing upward of all those seeds that you've been planting, that will be happening. So I think we're sending you some good frequencies your way. Let's throw in some prosperity. I think when I've been talking about money with people lately, it's been feeling a little heavy of a conversation. So I know many of you are worried about the holidays coming and fourth quarter for your businesses and wrapping up the year and making your numbers. That's come up quite a bit, so if I can do anything to help you and send you the vibration of prosperity, let's do that. And let's see, awareness, I would say. Oh gosh, and joy. Joy in what you're doing right now. And self-care is coming through big time. Patience, the message of steady pace has been coming through the past, almost 2 weeks now, and it requires a bit of patience from those of us who like to go, go, go. So, really breathe, take a breath. All right, I'm gonna let this run. And this energy is going to be flowing to you, this frequency of abundance and receiving and open-hearted, humble prosperity, awareness, joy, self-care, and patience coming to you to help support you right now, this current energy. And your newly restored emotional aura field will feel very restorative and help you feel a little more complete and confident as you move through the week. Now, before I leave, I want to wrap up today's discussion about energy feeling yin or yang. So again, last week we were talking very much about yin energy, and that's the energy of the moon. It's the energy of darkness. It's quiet, still. It's withdrawn in some cases. And when there is a yin imbalance and a room feels too yin, it may feel like a cave, for example. It will feel very stagnant, closed off. A person who's too yin will be very quiet, an introvert for sure, but to the extreme. Now, on the opposite side, I want to talk to you a little bit about yang energy. So yang energy, we see this in spaces, we see this in people, in our surroundings. In our surroundings, it's like to the extreme. It's a real hot, bright desert. It is the sun. It's bright white. It's everything high vibe. Even to the extreme. It's manic behavior. It's loud. It can be very lovely too. Think about the warm summer day, and there's lots of lovely sides to yang energy. But as we're talking about humility, we want to make sure that we're finding more of that balanced harmony with yin and not getting too inflated and overpowering, and also looking out for those around us so that they're not getting into their extremes as well. And we can do that. We can take on some of that responsibility to help restore balance in situations. We can take that responsibility for ourselves and thinking with that emotional awareness and how we're speaking to others. And so I don't know if this is really hitting home for someone at the right time. I really feel that it might be. Let me know. Again, please leave me a comment. I'll take the time to respond. I answer all the emails. And if you want to hop on into my closed private Facebook group, you can find the link to that, provided the link in my profile. Also, my partner Steve Kodad in the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui and I, we just released our most recent virtual newsletter all about the importance of sleep, restorative sleep, and also taking a look at our bedrooms and making sure it has a nice yin feel to it. Not too much yang. You want to have a little bit of yang energy in your bedroom, but mostly just really restful, restorative. Make sure you have optimal sleep at this time heading into the holidays. That's my greatest tip I can offer to you right now. I really appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to engage with me in these sessions. I hope that they're helpful. And I'm super proud of you for those of you who have reached your goals that you have set already. It's not the end of the year if you've made your yearly goals. You can still make it. There's many, many hours, each and every moment left to get there. And I'll be back very soon with another energy upgrade session and Feng Shui tip. Make sure that you hit like and subscribe so you don't miss it. And I wish you all many blessings times 9. I will see you all next time. And until then, I hope to hear from you. Have a great one. Bye.